What's going on, guys? It's Fancy Stock Exchange here, bringing you the premiere of our Going Long series. This is going to be coming out every Friday, and today we're just going to be going through the premiere, which is our season bets episode. So, as always, it's Danny and Bush. Today, we're actually joined by Tyler and Lucas. If you guys are OG member or followers of the channel, you guys will recognize these two guys. So, how you guys doing today?
I'm high as hell. No, I'm just kidding. Doing fantastic. Yeah, to start it off great. I'm doing great. Yes, I did depart this channel just a little bit ago. Still working with the boys. Got my own website. It's hidden over there in the background, the sporter.site. Please check it out or don't. It only hurts my feelings if you don't. So doing fantastic. I'm ready to roast Danny in any way possible because I miss it. I really do.
He hates the Cowboys, but how about you, Lucas? You also hate the Cowboys.
I don't know about hate, I guess. To be determined. I'm ready to watch Tyler act like he knows what he's talking about in this video.
I love it. I love it.
Definitely. All right, I'll preview what we're doing here. So what we're doing is the four of us are contributing, I think, $50 each, and we're taking the odds will pay us points. So if you pick the New Orleans Saints 12-1 to win the Super Bowl, you get 12 points if that happens. So on and so forth. Whoever has the most points at the end of this will kind of win the money and win the pot. So yeah, let's hit the intro and we'll see you guys on the other side. All right, so let's start with do you want to start with the granddaddy of them all? Let's start with the granddaddy of them all.
Do it.
Start AFC champ. Who do you guys got?
So I'll start it off. I actually have I just saw the edit on the sheet. Anyways, I'll start off with the Pittsburgh Steelers at plus 1,300 or 13 points if they do win the AFC. We're talking about the Steelers. Obviously, I'm not going to go into it too much, but returning their quarterback, returning Juju at full health, I do think that Mike Tomlin can get those boys ready, especially with a championship caliber defense. So definitely good odds for a team that I do believe is going to be much improved.
Yep, sounds good. I have the Steelers as well, so I echo all that. Lucas, who you got? I see you got another AFC North team as well.
Yeah, I got the Ravens there. I like the Steelers and the odds they give, but you guys both went Steelers, and no one had Ravens winning at all, so I figured take the advantage of fading you guys there to get points. They're only plus 300, but I think they're by far and away the best team in the league, so I guess should be probably even odds, but they're at plus 300 right now.
Cool.
Yeah. So my pick, fantastic bet here. I was able to get the Dolphins falling in my lap. Just kidding. We're going to go with the Tennessee Titans, 16-1. That's big boy odds. That's if I win, I'm pulling 16 points. I'm shitting all over everyone in the chat's chest like Odell Beckham likes it. I feel good. It's a great pick. Tennessee Titans. Roll, baby, roll. Derrick Henry. I love you. I'd give that man something special. You know what I mean? I'd shit on his chest, period.
All right. So for the NFC opponent in the Super Bowl, I'm going with not the New Orleans Saints, who I actually have winning the Super Bowl, but I'm kind of hedging my bets here, and I'm saying that the Tampa Bay Bucks at a 7.5-1 odds, shocker to anyone who knows that I'm a Bucks fan, are the champions of the NFC, so I get 7.5 points if they were to do that. Looks like Lucas is on the same side as me. Danny, everyone knows where Danny's going, so we're just going to skip over him.
Yeah,
and then Tyler, who are you going with?
Yeah, I mean, easy pick. Got to go with them boys. I mean, they're so good. The cornerbacks, so good. The linebackers, fantastic. Special teams, remarkably improved. No, I'm going to go with the Seahawks because I'm going to pick a team that can legitimately do it instead of the Cowboys. I think it's a fantastic pick here for me. We're rolling. Seahawks, 10-1 odds. I changed my Super Bowl pick because why not? Get a little different chances and all that shit. Lucas told me to do it, so I did it. I'm a good listener. So I'm going to go with the Seahawks here.
I will say, I mean, at 10-1, that's a good pick with the Seattle Seahawks. But as you guys know, 7.5-1, I am going with my Dallas Cowboys. Gotta say, too, I've been talking about it all offseason that I do think this team is going to be much improved. So don't have to hear me harp on it again, but they're going to be my NFC pick. Also different from my Super Bowl pick. Gotta hedge the bet. You guys will see the Super Bowl pick in a bit as well.
Yeah, let's get into the Super Bowl picks. Three of us actually picked the same team to win the Super Bowl. So me, Tyler, and Danny all have the New Orleans Saints winning the Super Bowl at 12-1 odds, as I mentioned. Lucas went with a little bit of a dart throw pick. Maybe give some of your rationale behind that.
Yeah, I got the Titans at 3,000 here. I've locked this one in before the Clowney signing happened. They had the second easiest win total second easiest strength of schedule based on projected win totals. Obviously, that goes out the door once the season starts because win totals don't mean anything at that point. But this team ranks probably number one in continuity, minus Jack Conklin replaces him with the best run blocking tackle in the league in the draft class, and Isaiah Wilson. And I really just think that this team
Tristan Wirfs has something to say about that, but sure.
Relative to the draft position they had, the best player they could have done without moving up or anything.
That's an Iowa guy, man. You're shitting on Iowa guys now?
Oh, no, I think Wirfs is good. I think Wirfs is a beast. But I think this team was one game away from the Super Bowl, which I think they would have beat the Niners because this team destroyed everyone they played except for they let Mahomes get one scramble that changed the game completely. But I think I'm fading the Saints. I just don't think they can do it, and you guys all picked them. So take the 30 points here, which would be a huge 30 points if they do end up winning.
Fair.
All right. So we'll go from one big award to the other big award. Let's go to the MVP, the most valuable player of the National Football League, according to us. Lucas, again, going off the rails. What do you got here? This is never going to happen, but if it does, you're going to get 38 points.
He loves the odds.
I don't mind the Deshaun Watson one either. I have Josh Allen at 38-1, frankly, because to me, the Russell Wilson, Dak Prescott tier, you would have to project them to finish higher than Mahomes and Lamar for them to realistically get the MVP. And to me, that doesn't seem reasonable that you're projecting Lamar and Mahomes to both be relatively worse than Dak and Russell Wilson just based on the circumstances they're in. But the Josh Allen pick, this team is probably going to be a playoff team. They should be. They should be a 10-win team. And all it takes to win MVP is make the playoffs, most likely go far in the playoffs, have a good team. And if this whole Stephon Diggs thing works out, he's going to shred the league, and he'll be the next Lamar Jackson in a way for fantasy purposes too. So a little bit long odds there, but I think Kyler Murray's kind of also a good throw there too based on the moves they made this offseason.
Yeah, it's definitely fair. The way I view it, as you guys are probably going to guess, I am the one who did take Dak Prescott as my MVP here. And the way I'm looking at it here is I already said on here that Dak Prescott or the Dallas Cowboys, are going to be my NFC champ. Well, if that's the case, the MVP usually goes to a team in the NFC in the NFL that's going to win 12 or more games. And if that's the case, I do think the Cowboys are going to have a good chance of winning 10, 11, maybe 12 games this year. And if they're able to do that, this is still a guy who's coming off a 4,900-yard, 30-touchdown season, adds, in my opinion, the best receiver in the draft. I do think he's going to have a ton of success in the passing game. And if the team is able to sustain the success from the aspect of winning games, I do think he's going to have a really good shot there. So at 12-1 or 12 points, if it does come through, I'm really happy with that pick.
Yeah. So let me just introduce something here. So me and Tyler went with a novel concept here. We actually picked good quarterbacks, and I went with Deshaun Watson. I know.
Hey,
Dak Prescott is not as good as this guy, so he has
5 or 6 quarterback.
So Deshaun Watson is who I picked at 17-1 odds. And the reason I picked Deshaun Watson is because, like Danny mentioned, if your team is good, then usually their quarterback gets like the accolades. And I think everyone here can agree that if the Texans win 11 or 12 games, it's going to be solely on the shoulder of Deshaun Watson.
It's all narratives. Like, you got to put the narratives with these things.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, that's what the MVP basically goes to. A lot of times it's the best narrative throughout the season. So if the Houston Texans do end up winning 11 or 12 games, the narrative is going to be that Deshaun Watson does get them there, which is valid because that offense is going to have to perform at an elite level with those losses on defense, as we've mentioned multiple times on the channel. So you actually predicted this in the bold predictions pick. So glad to see that you're sticking to your guns there. Tyler, go into your pick. Sorry, I talked a lot.
Big Daddy Russ, baby. He finally gets it done. He finally gets his he's wrapping it up this year. I'm willing to bet Danny right now, live on the air, that he will not bet me that any player from the AFC will get MVP over Dak Prescott. Danny, I'm willing to offer $50. Any player from the AFC, I win. Any player not from the AFC that's named Dak Prescott wins, then you get $50. Come on.
I mean, I'm pretty good with that, considering that we still got the 2 favorites in Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes in the AFC. So
he's not a believer.
If you want to go with the NFC East, I'll do that.
And he's not on a good team.
There's only 2 good players in the entire division.
Wait, you want the NFC East? Yeah, I'll give you the NFC.
No, I'm saying you can take the rest of the NFC East.
Out, right, Danny? Jesus Christ.
All right.
He's not a real man. He doesn't believe in Dak Prescott, period.
Relax.
Next question.
All right, so let's go with the worst record. Who gets the first overall pick? So,
JTS.
do we have the same team? No, we don't all have the same team. So just to be different, Lucas went with a different team than us. But me, Danny, and Tyler all think that the Jets are the worst team in the league. They are the worst run organization in the league. The Jags are giving them a run for their money, but they are the worst team in the league. They have the worst head coach in the league, and the Jets 14-1 odds. Lock it in. They're going to be picking Trevor Lawrence first overall. Lucas, who do you have picking Mr. Lawrence?
I took the Jags. I've had this Jets bet like actually locked in since like I don't know a month ago, but I get losing 14 points would suck, but getting 2.1 on the favorite when you guys all took the Jets more of a strategy for this game. But I realistically, I mean, I know we were talking about this yesterday. I don't see any other teams besides the Jags and the Jets that could get this. I think the Redskins are good for 4 wins. I think the Giants are good for 4 wins, and I think the Panthers are good for 4 wins.
Probably take an injury-riddled team to beat one of those guys.
Yeah, so like, I mean, obviously we can just list teams on injuries, but I think like realistically, I just don't see in the past we haven't even injury-riddled teams haven't even had the number 1 pick. The worst teams in the league.
Even San Fran that year didn't get the first pick, and they were like completely decimated.
I mean, like the only case that I'm like thinking about where it's like if they lost like so if the Cowboys lost Zeke, like that team could have the number 1 pick.
All right.
But I mean, even if they lost like say Dak or like the Seattle lost Russ, they would still get 6 wins. Like. This would happen.
Well, if Dallas lost Dak, they may win 10.
Low key, dude. If the Falcons lost Julio Jones and Matt Ryan, they might have the first pick.
Well, that's true.
But Matt Ryan was out last year.
If Carolina lost Christian McCaffrey,
not really. They have Teddy B. They throw the ball.
They don't have Reggie Bonifant anymore.
Mike Davis.
Yeah. All right. So
Bears started last year.
Worst record. Let's go with the rookie award. So. Offensive Rookie of the Year, I believe this is a smash. I think this is like almost like a 95% chance of happening. The only way I don't see it happening, in my opinion, is that Clyde Edwards-Helaire gets it. But I think Joe Burrow is the locked and loaded Offensive Rookie of the Year. All he really has to do is play like Kyler Murray last year. And Kyler Murray really wasn't that good. Joe Burrow, I think, is going to have a much better like season and more flashes. And as Lucas mentioned, it's probably going to be a bigger narrative because he's going to give Cincinnati hope, and they're going to be they're going to be the hot team probably going into next year with the great young quarterback. So I think Burrow is just an absolute lock to win this.
Well, my thing is, because I'm the only different one, is, well, first I want to challenge Danny because Danny has Clyde Edwards-Helaire being the number 1 in rushing touchdowns at the end of the season, but he doesn't have him as Rookie of the Year, which I couldn't see those two going hand in hand.
What are you talking about?
You have Clyde Edwards-Helaire as finishing with the most rushing.
Okay, what does that have to do with Rookie of the Year, though?
If that happens, he's going to get Rookie of the Year. I mean,
not necessarily, dude. Quarterbacks win it over the year that Zeke should have won it. Dak won it.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, you love hating on Dak, so now you're stopping the argument, eh?
No, my case is that just be consistent. That's all. I'm going to go Jonathan Taylor here. I think the Colts are going to win like 12 games, and it's going to be on the back of Jonathan Taylor. He's going to be an alpha. Yeah, full send. I needed to be different than you guys. So
if the Colts win 12 games, it's going to be because of Jonathan Taylor. I personally don't understand this narrative that people just want to put the Colts at 12 wins. I don't think they're that good of a team. I think they're like a 9 to 10 win team. I think Jonathan Taylor would have to be elite for them to win 12 games.
He'd have to be basically like Nick Chubb, Saquon Barkley, Ezekiel Elliott type level.
He'd have to win the starting job first too. So.
Exactly.
Yeah. Marlon Mack's the starter. So
week 3 and 4 is my timeline for that.
Yeah. All right. So on the defensive side of the ball for the rookies, we all have different picks for this. So Danny went with the favorite. I'll let you talk about that first.
I mean, this is a guy in my division. He's going to be causing terror for quite a while. I mean, he is the best. In my opinion, yes, Nick Bosa's fantastic. Joey Bosa, fantastic. Myles Garrett's fantastic. Coming out as a prospect, Chase Young, I think, is a better prospect than all those guys were. Obviously, lands on the Washington football team. A lot of pass rush, like a good foundation for his defensive line and edge around him. So I do think he's going to be able to step into a situation where he does have a support around him. And if this guy is getting 10, 11, maybe 12 sacks as a rookie, I do think number 2 pick, having a successful season is going to garner votes for the media. So I do think he's going to get the defensive rookie of the year. And at, what is that? 2.2 to 1. I mean, not the greatest odds, but I'm going to go with the best player to get the rookie of the year trophy.
My only issue with him is that I think the Washington football team would actually have to be kind of good for him to win it. Like, because we saw with like Nick Bosa would not have won it last year had the Niners not won 13 games. Because like
he did all of his work in the playoffs too. So when everyone was
and
watching.
in September he won Defensive Rookie of the Month like right out the gate, and he was like on everyone's mind for the rest of the season. Meanwhile, Devin White, I'm not going to get into it, but Devin White won it twice, Defensive Rookie of the Month, and because the Bucs won 7 games and the Niners won 13, among some other rookies that were on bad teams, Nick Bosa got it basically from that perspective. So that's my only issue with Chase Young, is that I think he would have to be fucking dominant coming out to win it on a bad team.
And the fact of the matter is, like, in terms of raw ability, yeah, like the COVID is going to affect him. I say because defensive linemen will probably have a little bit of a learning edge to get around in terms of perfecting their techniques. But I do think based off raw ability, he can step in right away as Nick Bosa did, ultimately be a top 10 edge in the NFL just based on talent. So I can definitely see where you're coming from, though. Like in terms of a defensive lineman actually winning the award, they're going to have an absolutely dominant season. I just think he has a possibility to actually be able to do that.
Yeah, Lucas kind of went against that narrative, like the opposite of Chase Young. So why don't you explain your pick for Defensive Rookie of the Year?
Yeah, I had Kyle Duggar in there first because Bush hit it on the head. The Patriots, I mean, okay, they're going to be a good team. I think they're going to be a top 4 team in the AFC. Tom Brady was terrible last year, meaning they're going to be on prime time. They're going to be the team people watch. I think if they go to the playoffs, they'll win Coach of the Year, all this stuff, come back Player of the Year. Duggar is going to start right away with all these opt-outs. He's going to get a lot of sacks, a lot of tackles, make a lot of plays because he's in the role that is it's where no matter how bad you are, production happens because it has to happen or you're going to get benched. You have to make the tackles because they open up to you. So I don't mind him there. I ended up not going with him because I think along the same lines, Patrick Queen's plus 1,200. He is going to start right away as well. They're going to be in the playoffs. They're going to be on prime time. If he puts up relatively like – because Chase Young probably won't even play full time. They have 9 dudes they play in their front 7. I get they drafted Chase Young, but they're not going to bench these other guys that were a top 5 front 7 last year. So I just struggle to think that Patrick Queen's far off than him, I guess. So I'll just take the bigger odds.
Talking about that right there, I have heard that they've been talking about moving Ryan Kerrigan before the season to a team that might need an edge.
Yeah, get him out of that friggin' hellhole. He's been there for too long. I went with a long shot at my pick. My thinking here is that Antoine Winfield Jr. is the guy I picked, 38-1 odds.
My boy.
He's along Lucas's lines. He's starting right away. He's going to be the starting free safety to start the season. He's the only one on that back end with ball skills. They led the entire league with pass breakups, but no one could catch a damn ball. So Antoine Winfield gets like 4 or 5 picks. The Bucs are going to be on prime time 5 times this year. Everyone's going to have their eyes on the offense, and when teams are coming back, because the offense is scorching teams, because I expect that to happen, Antoine Winfield's going to have a lot of opportunities to get his hand on some balls.
Yep. No,
hey. I don't mind a man who likes to get his hands on some balls. I'm going to go with a guy who I think will get his hands on a lot of balls, and his name's Isaiah Simmons. That joke was a setup brought to you by Tyler. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Go to the sporter.site. Check us out. I appreciate it. Isaiah Simmons, full send on him. Great safety. If Arizona is going to be good, it's going to be because of him on the safety end. He's going to be covering tight ends. Wow, something that was not happening for Arizona last year. He's going to get some interceptions. He's going to get some tackles. He's going to get Rookie of the Year on the defensive side. Let's go.
He's definitely a freak, so can't argue with that. But yeah, Bush, what are we heading into next?
Let's stay on the same lines and let's go to the offensive players of the year. So we talked about MVPs. To me, the guy that I got, I think the odds on this are just a steal because I think Drew Brees is washed. I think he's a game manager at this point in his career. And if the Saints win 13 games like I expect them to win because they have probably the best roster in the entire league, Alvin Kamara could win Offensive Player of the Year and kind of like a comeback type season for him. He was 55-1. So that's really the reason I went with Alvin Kamara. And I think he's going to, the Saints are going to go on offense as far as him and Michael Thomas go.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely see that as well. I'm actually going for another running back. Actually, we're all going for running backs here. And I'm actually going to be going with Saquon Barkley from the New York Giants. Similar to what you said, I do think if the New York Giants are going to have any success on offense, it's going to come from Saquon Barkley. Again, you mentioned Jason Garrett coming in this offseason. Joe Judge is the head coach. I do think they're going to be running a similar system to what Jason Garrett did in Dallas. And what that means is leading the league in getting attempts to your running backs in terms of whether he wants to target them out of the passing game, give them carries. I mean, Saquon Barkley is at minimum a top 3 back, arguably the best overall talent in the league. And due to ultimate volume, I do ultimately see that since both passing game usage and rushing game usage, he can definitely challenge for that Offensive Player of the Year award. And at 18-1 odds that I'm currently getting here, I'll take that.
Yeah, by far the best running back in that division. I mean, I don't even know a second one.
Relax.
I mean, probably Adrian Peterson, but then he left. So that's a roast on Miles Sanders too. I'm going to go with Derrick Henry, the big dog. I think they're going to get like 13 wins, and it's going to be because of him. I think the Colts are going to get 12 wins. I think the Jaguars are going to get 30 wins. I think everyone in that division is going to go way over 500. So don't even ask for my math because I don't have any. Derrick Henry's going to do it. He's going to drag that team's offense all the way. Lucas and me, we're with it. Derrick Henry, the big dog.
I think this one like completely makes sense because if you're following like the whole narrative thing, for them to go to the playoffs, for them to go to the Super Bowl, it would have to be on the back of Derrick Henry yet again. Like
Ryan Tannehill had a better season than Joe Montana in 1989 last year.
Yeah, and like obviously like that's gonna work itself out. They're gonna throw more. It's gonna even itself out. This team is gonna be good. They have a ton of defensive depth. They're gonna be a playoff team. And if they do what they did last year, it's going to have to be on the back of Derrick Henry. So I like that one probably like, I guess you could say the best out of all the running backs just because the path is clear to him getting the votes in a way.
It's along the same lines as mine, except it's better odds. And I think even more so Derrick Henry is crucial to the success of the Titans as much as Alvin Kamara is important for the Saints. They still won 13 games with him banged up last year. So
to be fair, Ryan Tannehill had a better season than Tom Brady did back in 1970. So, you know.
Yeah. Well, let's get into the defensive players of the year. We took two different approaches here. Me and Tyler went with absolute dart throws, and you guys went with more. I actually really like Danny's pick. I didn't even see that. But I went with Lavonte David at 200-1. He's not even listed on this.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And Max Crosby is. So take that for what you will. But Lavonte David, I mentioned the same kind of narrative with Antoine Winfield. The Bucs are going to be on primetime. No one has seen Lavonte David more than I have play in a Bucs uniform. And this dude has played like a borderline Hall of Famer his entire career, and no one knows who he is. And that's why he's not on the betting slip. And narrative street all over again. Like if Lavonte David balls out, which I expect him to because he does every year and no one notices. But the difference is we have Tom Brady at quarterback this year. People are going to notice. And I could see him getting some DPOY votes. Tyler, who do you got?
Yeah, so I went with Devin Bush. Just kind of a team that I think will be in primetime still, kind of connecting with you. And linebackers. Linebackers just get it done when it comes to the players of the year. I mean, 3 of the 4 picks outside of Lucas because somehow he wants to be special, decides not to go with a linebacker. But the rest of us did. Devin Bush, he's got a big set, you know what I mean? And big sets get big awards, and he's going to win Defensive Player of the Year. I don't have a reason. Steelers defense is good, okay? All right, fuck it, all right? Because I hate everyone else in the Steelers. Deontay Johnson's a bum. Fuck everyone, all right? So, Devin Bush, we'll cheer for you.
Yeah, and segueing into that linebackers argument, I'm actually going to be going with another linebacker, and that's going to be Darius Leonard from the Indianapolis Colts, currently at plus 2,900 or 29-1 odds. So you're actually looking at Darius Leonard. He may not be the best linebacker in the NFL. Like he's definitely in the top 3. You can argue Bobby Wagner, Lavonte David. I understand that. But when it comes to being the most productive in the last 2 years, I mean, no one can argue that Darius Leonard is the most productive. This is a guy in his short 2-year career, averages over 10 tackles per game. Last year had 5 interceptions in 13 games.
Yeah, but 2 of them came on Jameis Winston. So it was like bowling with the bumpers up.
5 sacks in 13 games as well. I mean, this guy, he contributes in every facet of the game at the linebacker position. You need a guy who can rush after the quarterback. He's proven 12 sacks in 28 career games. Pretty good numbers for an inside linebacker. Talking about actual on-ball skills, 7 interceptions in that time frame as well. I do think this is a guy that just has a nose to be around the ball. And if he's able to stay healthy for a full 16-game season, we could be talking about a linebacker that puts up 170 tackles, 7-8 sacks, and 5 or 6 picks in the year. And if he's able to do that, he's winning Defensive Player of the Year. So I definitely like that pick, especially at the odds that he's given here.
Yep. Go Jets.
Yeah, I had Jamal Adams at first. But
I actually like that pick better than the one you have now.
Yeah, I don't know. I like Bosa here just because for all the same reasons he won last year, he should be in the same exact position. This team should be on primetime. This team should be
He's talking
good.
about Nick, just for the record.
Yeah, Nick Bosa. Joey Bosa, he'll play like 4 games this year and then get paid. Or no, sorry, he just got paid. But he could play like 3 games last year. So dumb, never paid the edge rushers.
$27 million a year.
Yeah, it's insane. But yeah, Nick Bosa, I don't know. This is such defensive player of the year is such a long shot because last year no one would have projected Gilmore to have
because he shouldn't have won
interceptions.
it. So
well, yeah, relatively.
Yeah, Levante David should have won it.
no,
Parker
Shaq Barrett had
shredded him.
20 sacks and 7 forced
Yeah,
fumbles.
I think like T.J. Watt here is a good pick. Fitzpatrick, guys that are going to be in good positions to make interception plays on prime time that people remember when it comes to voting. I don't know who actually votes, but when it comes to voting, so take that sort of tidbit if you are placing a bet on this.
Yeah. So into the coach of the year here. And I didn't think I would have a tag team partner. And I definitely did not think it would be Tyler of all people who would pick this coach with me. But I picked Kevin Stefanski. Looking back at coach of the year, the ones I remember at least, and this is a very, very narrative driven one. First time coaches tend to win coach of the year a lot. McVay won it his first year in LA. Matt Nagy somehow won it his first year in Chicago. And I could totally see if the Browns don't disappoint this year, if they win 10 games on the back of Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt in the run game, then Kevin Stefanski could win this award. And the 20-1 odds made this kind of the reason I picked it.
Yeah. I just wanted to fuck with you because why the fuck would I pick a Browns player? Like, what the hell? Like,
I don't know though. I think this is fair because like if they get like 6 wins, it'd be like the most in franchise history. So he'd probably like win the award here. I think it's a good pick because this team they have a pretty easy schedule. They could run their way into the 7th spot, so not even a realistic playoff spot, and they would win this ballot for sure. Because I mean, come on,
if like Odell doesn't kill someone, he'll win coach of the year. So
yeah,
well he has to like catch the balls first, and maybe
I'm sitting here completely clowning you guys. I forgot what his odds were, but Mike Vrabel's my actual pick. Because why the fuck? Like I'm going full Tennessee on my paper, and anything that's Browns related, like I should have actually fucked with you guys and put Baker Mayfield as my MVP. That would have been a lot longer. But
who won this last year? Was it Harbaugh? Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. I was just wondering.
Well, mentioning my pick, actually, you're mentioning an AFC Kevin Stefanski, AFC North. What's it called? John Harbaugh, AFC North. I'm actually going to go with another AFC North. Sorry, mumbled words. Head coach, and I'm actually going to go Mike Tomlin from the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mentioned that they were the pick to represent the AFC. Again, I do think that the Steelers are going to have a huge bounce back year with Big Ben coming back, with Juju being fully healthy. I do think that defense is going to be elite. That team's going to win about 10 to 13 games if I were to guess right now. And if that's the case, Mike Tomlin is a well-respected coach in the league. I do think that the media is going to be driving him up with the success. So I definitely like Mike Tomlin, especially at plus 2,600 odds. I think those are pretty really reasonable odds there for a coach like Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, I was
going to pick the guy you picked, by the way, Lucas. I thought that was a great pick. And I think if this team could win like 14 games, like if Josh Allen takes a major step forward, the defense is good enough. The skill positions around Josh Allen are good enough. Like this is a well-run team, well-run organization.
Mm-hmm.
They could have a Ravens type season this year.
Yeah. And I don't know who votes. Like that'd be good to know. Cause like,
I think it's Associated Press, isn't it?
Because like the fan base of the Bills, if this team were to say go to the AFC Championship, would single-handedly win them this award for them to be good. Josh, like they'll make the playoffs, but they were terrible against the freaking Texans defense. Like he got sacked like 6 times. So like he has to be good for them to make that step. I hope he does per se. I'm not like banking on it happening or anything, but if that does, they will be an elite team. They will be a team that'll be a top 2 in the AFC. And the press votes or whatever, the Bills fan base will definitely make it known if Josh Allen's a good quarterback. So he'll definitely get some votes swung there.
Yeah. Plus he just everyone just rips on him too. So if he comes out and is like incredible, which I do think there's an off chance he just like takes a huge step forward. I don't know why. I just have this like gut feeling in the back of my head. It's kind of part of the reason why I like Stephon Diggs so much for fantasy is I do think Josh Allen gets better this year. Let's go to the best record. So we talked about the first overall pick. This is going to be the best record. So last year, the Ravens went 14-2, had the best record. For a second, I thought Tyler had the Jets as the best record, but I'm tripping out.
Come on,
Tyler, who do you got?
Dude, we got to go with the Jets. What do you mean? That's what it has on there. JTS, Sam Darnold and Adam Gase just needed, 2 years to get it together? This is the year, baby. Okay? I don't need to hear any more shit. I don't need to make an argument. The fact that you guys don't have the Jets here is a fucking disgrace. No, I'm actually going to go with the Saints because I'm smart. Big smart. They're 9-1, so give me a free 900 points. 9 points in whatever we're doing. We're having fun. We're having a great time. I'm making random picks, most of the time cheating off of Lukas, and then he keeps changing his answer. So we're on the Saints here.
Yeah, me and Danny both went with our home teams. You kind of expected that. Lukas, who did you go with?
Yeah, I think like on the Saints thing, I guess I'm struggling to like comprehend there being sort of like two powerhouses in this division. Frankly, I think the Bucs are a better team. I just in general, I don't think the Saints defense.
I'm a Bucs fan, and I totally disagree with you.
Their defense is not like when it comes down to like winning big time games.
Saints defense is really good.
I realize they have Janoris Jenkins as a starting quarterback.
Yeah, and that's but trust me, I know how bad it is to have Isaac Iadom as your second corner for 3 years. Like they just throw to the other side of the ball.
No, you don't throw a Lattimore when you play the Saints, and you throw out Janoris Jenkins.
Bad last year. He was so up and down, and like so, safeties don't win you shit. No matter how good your safeties are,
they did bring Malcolm Jenkins in, no?
Yeah, but okay,
yeah, they have probably the best trio of safeties in the league because they have C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Malcolm Jenkins, and Marcus Williams.
Yeah.
And the last time they had to rely on the safeties, the Minneapolis Miracle happened. So like that's about how reliable they are, needed they are in big games. You have Cam Jordan, whatever. Like
I just think that too.
The Bucs O-line isn't far behind. The receivers
I totally disagree with that statement.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They have the best tackle duo in the league, the Saints.
Dude, they have the best offensive.
We have Donovan Smith and a rookie right tackle, dude.
I guess
Bolter one
and Alex Kappa.
I don't know. I think bringing Brady in, it might take time to like actually realize the effect he's going to have on this offense. He could. It doesn't matter how bad he plays. They're just going to have so many more drives that it's not going to matter. They're going to be scoring more points on top of the offense they already had last year. I just think it's weird that people think that, I don't know. I think it's like a 10-6, 10-6 split rather than like a 10-6, 13-3 split. So I don't really like taking those. I took the Niners. I don't know. I don't. Chiefs are probably locked in for 11.
I could argue the same thing about the Niners, that there's probably even more there's even more teams in that division that I could see getting 10 or 11 wins.
Yeah, that's why I'm not like in love with it. I guess I could have went Chiefs just to take the points.
I'm surprised no one went with the Bills. Because that division, I don't think the Patriots are going to be an 11-plus win team. I think if the Patriots make the playoffs, it's going to be with 9 or 10 wins.
Yeah, I think they're like 10 wins max. But I think more often than not with this, you're better off just taking a long shot to have a ton of positive regression, because the chances of really all these teams repeating that do every year is kind of tough.
Yeah, sure. So going into mine, it's going to be my team. It's going to be
we already talked about yours. We knew you were going to pick the Cowboys. On to
plus 1,100.
Yes, plus 1,100 is the odds. So we also did like a kind of a bonus thing that was like, you get 10 points if you get this right. If any of these teams that we selected go from worst to first, they finished fourth in their division last year. If they win their division this year, you get 10 points for that. So both Lukas and Tyler went with the Lions. I'm guessing that's more of just like an indictment on the division in general.
The division's fucking terrible, and I'll take the Lions in the day.
I don't even know if it's like the division's bad. I think they're relatively like tied for the best team in the league. Like all these teams are just equal. I mean, for your guys' picks, Cardinals and Dolphins, like that's such a tough hill to actually.
Oh yeah, dude, mine is really tough to climb. I don't think the Dolphins win points because I think there's 3 playoff caliber teams in the NFC West, and the Cardinals are not one of them.
I think there's 4. I think the Cardinals are. I think the Rams are. I think obviously the other 2 are. That's why I think. Not even that I think the Lions. If I was betting it, I probably wouldn't even bet the Lions. Like it's just, I feel like it's the easiest pick out of these per se.
Yeah. I think the Lions is the best pick. I just didn't go with it because I didn't want to be like you guys. So
gotta be a lion. You can't be a part of the sheep.
Yes, exactly.
Danny's a Dolphin, so you know.
Hey, you like that? You have to be happy. I picked your team.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna speed these last ones up real quick. Let's go through the division champions. So. We got AFC East division champion. We got me and Danny went with the Bills. And then Lukas went with the Patriots because he believes they're never going to die. And then Tyler went with the Dolphins because he's a homer. Not really. Like, I mean, the odds are pretty good.
Hey. You're losing like 1 point. It's fine. Whatever.
I will sacrifice the loss of points for the 8 that I could get when the Dolphins do it, not it.
We're going gotta have a good team first.
Super Bowl chance. Hey, we got a great coach. How about you settle down?
Why did none of us pick the – okay, never mind. Tyler picked the Chiefs for the – okay, so for the AFC West, You would actually lose points if if the Chiefs didn't win this division because they're minus 420 to win it. Blaze it. And the Broncos, me and Lucas went with, Lucas being a homer, me picking the Broncos because I didn't want to pick the Chiefs. The loss of Von Miller doesn't really help our bet.
No, no chance.
And then Danny went with the Raiders. Probably no chance in hell that happens unless Brian Edwards turns into Marvin Harrison and Henry Ruggs turns into
Terry
Or like John Gruden has to turn into a good coach too.
John Gruden is a good coach. Get out of here. He won a Super Bowl with Tony Dungy's team.
Yeah.
Wait, I can't do it.
Adam Gase has a Super Bowl ring too. So
does he actually?
Yeah, Peyton Manning's quarterback coach.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I totally forgot he was actually relevant for like a period of time, and we actually thought he might be like an up and coming coach.
Hey,
he was coached by Peyton Manning.
Let's transition to the next division, boys. Let's try to keep it swift for the audience. And fuck it, I'm gonna say this one, the AFC North. So all three of us, other than Tyler. Okay, I'm gonna get into Tyler in a second, but three of us went with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and myself, Lucas, and Bush, and Tyler went with the Baltimore Ravens. The odds there being Steelers.
I'm not going to win this. Here's my thing. I'll make my argument because you guys will make yours. I'm not going to win this. I will finish third at best. I am well aware of this. That's why I'm copying most of my picks. Don't fucking challenge me. No one's gotten to this point in the video. If you have, leave a comment. Help the boys. But yes, I'm going to get 2 free points here, the Chiefs and the Ravens, because they're going to fucking make the playoffs, and they're going to win their divisions. You guys look like fucking idiots, and I don't care if I lose points.
Everyone knows that. The reason we went with the Steelers is because you actually don't lose points if you.
I don't give a shit.
Okay, I do have a question though. Has it ever happened that 2 teams have been 13-3 in the same division?
No.
I
I
see
don't
it
know.
happening this year.
I think there will be 2 double-digit win teams, like 11 plus in this. Like they'll probably split, but I don't know if they'll actually lose any other games. Like these teams are actually like that good, and I think I had the Bengals on here just for fucking 28 points if it were to happen. But then you guys went Steelers, so obviously I'd change. If you would all went Ravens, I would have went Bengals. But yeah, if you're actually betting, I like the Steelers here. The Ravens minus 200 is dumb. They've only been really elite for 1 year, so I think Steelers is a good pick here.
Yeah. All right. AFC South. Tyler went with the Titans. No shock there.
Small video.
And then I went with, who did I go with? I went with the Texans because kind of piggybacking on my Deshaun Watson bet. I think the Texans are better than everyone thinks they are because I think Watson's floor as a quarterback, if he plays all the games, the Texans are not winning less than 8 games if Watson plays because he's that good. And Lucas also went with the Titans. Danny went with the Texans as well. NFC East, this is where the fun starts. Mm-hmm. So the Eagles, according to Tyler, I picked the Cowboys as well as Danny, and then Lucas picked the Eagles. This is probably the Twitter debate that makes everyone hate Twitter and fantasy Twitter and football Twitter in general because these 2 fan bases argue whose quarterback is better when in reality they're both franchise quarterbacks. So shut the hell up about it.
It's bad, whatever.
Yeah. So how do we see this division going? Because this is the biggest debate on Twitter. So we got to talk about it a little bit. Obviously, the Washington football team and the Giants, they're not even in contention. It's not going to happen. The Giants have an outside shot, like a very, very outside shot. And I would say that Washington does if Haskins were to take like a Jared Goff step forward, like in his second year.
Yeah, it's the division's probably like 97% Cowboys or Eagles, and then 3% the other 2.
Yeah,
it's like I think it's legit like a coin flip. The Giants suck. Like they're not going to be a good team. People think they're going to be a good team. The Redskins the football team suck. I legit think it's a 50-50 coin flip. So that's why I'm just going to take the Eagles at plus money. Like I don't know which team's better because they both have definitely areas that any other team could just target them except on their defense. So I think it's just a coin flip. So I'll take, what is it, plus 130. Goes in here, plus 130.
I'm just going to pick the team with the best kicker, and I think that's Jake Elliott by far. Dallas has such
Sleep it on Greg the leg.
It's all I've been hearing is that Dallas has no good special teams.
I mean, if Rosas didn't get cut, he would actually be the best kicker in the division. But
hey, is Dustin Hopkins low-key better than Jake Elliott still?
Yeah, I think he is actually.
Is he their captain?
Their punter is definitely the best one in the league.
Tressway's elite.
Yeah.
Fucking Chris Jones is anything but.
Let's get out of the NFC East. The NFC North, I have no friggin' clue which way this is going. I picked the Vikings because,
we took everyone but the Bears.
Yeah, exactly. The Bears are not winning this division because they have a terrible quarterback situation to deal with between 2 bad quarterbacks that both are not going to lead them to anything. So I went with the Vikings just because I think they're the most complete team in the division. I think they have they don't really have that many weaknesses. Yeah, they're starting a bunch of young corners, but they have the best safety tandem in the league that'll kind of cover up for that. And what you went with the Lions, right, Lucas? Because that kind of sticks with your narrative.
When in doubt, just take the team with the best offense, I think, in the division that has the better odds, I guess. I mean, obviously the Bears are the worst, but I don't know. I mean, I think we saw last year that personally, I think the Lions, I don't know when they play the Vikings, but I think early in the season they'll just shred the corners. I like Gladney, but he was a Big 12 corner. Like, come on, we're not expecting him to lock people down right away.
Well, Dantzler locking down Jamar Chase.
Yeah, but then got shredded by Tennessee Volunteers 7th-string receiver and Florida's 9th-string receiver, whoever the hell he's playing.
Hey, you shut your damn mouth when you're talking about my Gators.
So
I'll be talking about Tyree Cleveland like that.
Yeah, sorry. He made the Broncos roster for you there, Tyler.
But I think, fuck you.
I don't know. I just take the team with the better odds when realistically it's probably about even. The Packers are going to regress down to like a 9-win team.
Hey, that could still win this division, to be honest.
Exactly, and I think the Lions are 7 wins with the chance to finish with 10 if their defense can shape up a little bit. So
they're going to win the division with 8 wins. The next
I'm just going to quickly mention the Packers.
No one went with a different team than the Seahawks in the next division. We all went Seahawks.
Yeah. I'm going to quickly mention the
we're
Packers,
all smart.
though.
Yeah, exactly.
But Packers plus 190. I mean, they won it last year. Basically, I think it's going to be a coin flip between them and the Vikings, mostly with the Lions having an outside shot. No way in hell the Bears have even close to a chance. I know you Bears fans are going to be like
dark horse for the number 1 pick, Loki, the Bears.
Yeah, but I think
2 injuries to that team and they're decimated. Mack and Robinson go down, they're done.
100%.
I don't know, I see what you're saying. I think it's just tough.
Even Kyle Fuller wasn't as good as he was last year.
No, and they lost their other corners. And Eddie Jackson had a down year last year. If Mack goes down,
Akeem Hicks got hurt.
Roquan didn't take the step forward that everyone thought. It's literally just if Khalil Mack goes down on defense, their defense is average. And if Allen Robinson goes down on their offense,
they're the worst offense
in the league.
No, it's definitely even right now they're a bottom 7 offense.
You know who the Jets are? Just curious.
Hey, even without A-Rob, I do think that the Jets have some sort of semblance of better weapons. I know it's fucking weird to say that.
Chris Herndon breakout season. Anyway, NFC South. Am I the okay? Never mind. I was about to say I'm the only one who didn't go with the homer pick, but so Tyler and Lucas both have the Bucks winning this at the plus 160 mark. Me and Danny both went with the Saints. Again, you probably expected me to go with the Bucks, but I think the Saints are the better team. I just do. I think the continuity this year is gonna. They have everyone returning on their entire roster pretty much except for their rookie first round center.
Yeah, that's phenomenal.
It's a 2.7 point swing for something that I think should be relatively even, I guess, is kind of the way I view it. I don't even know if the Bucks are this elite team. I just think the Saints are always overvalued every single year, and they got shredded by the Vikings in the playoffs. So come on.
Well, these are regular season bets.
Yeah, no, I just mean I don't know. The Bucks receivers destroyed them every single matchup. Now you're inserting.
So did the Saints receivers to the Bucks.
Yeah, but we don't have Vernon Hargraves and MJ Stewart as starting corners.
Yeah, they did at the beginning of the year last year. And if this defense, these are all based on if the Bucks corners do what they did last year. Because besides, if the corners are bad, the team's bad. Frankly, it's just going to
probably, yeah.
And if they're going to stay good, then realistically, they have a top 8 defense with a top 5 offense. You put 2 and 2 together, that should come together and be a good team.
If the corners are bad, this team is so all in right now. They might throw a first round pick at Arizona for Patrick Peterson.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll go out and get a corner if the corners aren't playing well.
Well, there you go.
What other bets do we have here?
Now
we got to
yards leaders or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna run through these real quick because I know Tyler wants to see his Tampa Bay Lightning disappoint him. So we're going to go through most passing yards here. These are all pretty obvious picks. I went with Matt Ryan. Lucas went with Drew Brees, Jared Goff for Danny, and Matthew Stafford for Tyler. Passing touchdowns-wise, Lamar Jackson just out of this world whack for Lucas. I don't know why.
Let me give my take, though. So this team, he led the league in passing touchdowns last year, right?
Okay.
With having the fewest pass attempts in the league, right?
Regression. Sorry.
Regression, people leave it at that, would mean they're going to have to throw the ball more.
Yeah.
If they're not hitting these big plays, which frankly they scored all their touchdowns and they had the smallest yardage average per touchdown, if that makes sense. So that should regress to about average, meaning they're going to have to throw the ball, meaning they're going to have to throw the ball more. And I think I don't know. I think it's as good odds. I mean, the same as Watson, kind of scary, I guess, but Lamar's done it before, I guess, is kind of my argument with that. I don't know. You have to think of like a crazy reason why Mahomes wouldn't get it if he plays a full 16.
Yeah, pretty much. I think
if Mahomes plays, it's 100%.
I'm pretty sure like all of us would have picked Mahomes if we were picking this straight up with no odds. But I went with Watson kind of like, if Watson actually wins MVP, I'm probably going to smash this because I have a lot of Texans being good based bets and a lot of Watson being good based bets.
Same with me with Dak.
Danny did the same thing with MVP, right? So he picked Dak to win MVP. Dak, if he leads the league in touchdowns, might win MVP because he's going to have a lot of passing yards. I don't mind Tyler's pick either. Matt Ryan could definitely throw the most passing touchdowns. Rushing yards, I think Derrick Henry, Tyler went with. He just sticks with those Titans. Me and Lucas both went with Josh Jacobs. I think this was the value play. I actually might play some money down on this because
I think it's good
like 14-1 odds for Josh Jacobs to lead the league in rushing. I think he's going to be top 5 in carries for sure.
I mean, if you had to pick, who would you place odds over him? Like, not like the odds
Henry and Chubb would probably be the only two guys, and maybe
I don't even know if Chubb would be, considering with all this Kareem Hunt hype. That's like, I mean, you really realistically
I mean, 295 carries, almost 1,500 rushing yards last year. I do think with Stefanski, again, we're going to see more.
Yeah, I think Chubb. I think Chubb would edge him out.
And then CMC, I guess.
I think it would go Henry, Chubb, Zeke, and Jacobs would be pretty close.
And then Barkley's schedule is tough. Zeke should see hypothetically less work. So I feel Jacobs is I don't know, not a lock, but I think
he should be in the top 5 in terms of odds, and I don't exactly remember where he is right now.
He should be like 10-1 relatively. I guess is what I would place him.
Yeah.
I mean, I fully agree with the Jacobs pick. Again, you guys kind of both went with him. I went with another guy. I think it's possible because I just don't want to split points there if it happens. So kind of went with a little bit like off the board of what you guys were doing. I kind of didn't want 3 different guys going with Jacobs there. Yep.
And to the rushing touchdowns, I think me and Danny, I like our bet the most, to be honest, just because
bold prediction.
I think this is just kind of obvious because of the offense he plays in to me. But Clyde Edwards-Helaire at 18-1, it would definitely not shock me if he led the league in rushing touchdowns, just because the offense he plays in. Like when you have Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, you're going to score a lot of rushing touchdowns. You guys went with Lucas went with a bit of a long shot. If you want to talk about that.
Yeah, I took James Conner here. Just the injury discount is really the only reason why he's here. He would definitely be 15-1 if he played all 16 games. So I think
for sure.
Just try and hit it big on here. I don't mind the CEH one. There's Dalvin Cook, and that's Tyler's. I think that's a great one too. Buying the injury discount, because if he played 16, he'd frankly be like 4-1 probably.
He could win. Dalvin Cook could lead the league in rushing touchdowns in 13 games. To be honest, like the way that he's used by that team and the way that they run it in the red zone, like they don't even think about passing in the red zone.
Didn't he have literally 13 rushing scores last year in 13 games?
Yeah,
something
that's
like
what I'm saying.
Yeah, he was incredible from the touchdown perspective. Receiving yards. I kind of expected Danny to pick this. Oh, he did pick it also. Okay, yeah, DJ Moore, Tyler, and Danny both went with DJ Moore at 50-1. I think that's a great pick. To be honest, I'm kind of mad I didn't pick it.
I was a half second away from putting McCaffrey. I know it sounds fucking insane, but I'm like, why? Why not? Like YOLO. Like his odds.
I mean, I have bet that DJ Moore and Teddy B like stack on these picks because frankly they're just going to throw the ball so much. Every single projection system on any single site has these guys top 5 in yards that they're passing and receiving. So I went Juju just to be different because I guess 50 points, whatever. So I should lock it in. But I'm just gonna go Juju just because I think this team's gonna bounce back to when Juju was like the youngest, whatever the whole stat with like youngest player to reach a certain amount of yards. He's gonna shred again this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think at 21 years old, he already had like 27 or 2,800 yards in the NFL or something.
Yeah, it was just behind like Randy Moss and Josh Gordon.
Like,
ironically,
that's insanity.
Tyreek Hill is who I went with. I don't really like this, to be honest. Like I don't think Tyreek Hill can lead the league in receiving yards because he doesn't get enough volume to do so. But
he can average 20 yards a catch. Like that's
betting on guys on the Chiefs offense is usually never a bad idea though for anything receiving wise. So. Receiving touchdowns, this is my favorite of all my picks because I like the odds I got here, and I think this guy legitimately should be top 5 in terms of the amount of red zone usage this guy gets. And he had 10 touchdowns last year, and that's Cooper Kupp. I got him at 30-1 odds. I think Cooper Kupp is going to be in the top 5 in the NFL in receiving touchdowns, and if he gets some lucky breaks, maybe he has 12 or 13 and leads the league.
Yeah, I picked the guy who finished number 1 in receiving touchdowns last year and somehow had a 23-1 odds. So yes, please. Thank you.
Because he can't go up. I think like the whole Galladay thing is like people are smashing this, and he finished with 11 touchdowns with Jeff Driscoll and Blau or whatever his name was. Like realistically, if Stafford is going to shred it with Kenny G, then wouldn't Kenny G be projected for like 15 touchdowns?
No, because they're clowns.
So then wouldn't he be the leader for this? So like I think there's like sort of a disconnect between like how people are viewing this.
It's because of the total targets. Because he literally had 11 touchdowns on 113, 114.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. My prediction.
That just has to go down.
I don't mind it. I guess the Cup one. I think it's just he's so low due to the apparently Tyler Higbee's is tight end 1, so they're going to be running 12 personnel. So Cup virtually won't be on the field like he wasn't last. I mean, he'll be on the field, but like the snaps to get that. I took Lockett here. He's 8 touchdowns, 10 touchdowns. That's not going to change. So I'm more so taking the. Hopefully it's a down year per se on the receiving touchdown end, and the 10 or 9 gets
like last year pretty much. I mean 11.
Yeah, he was like 5th or 6th last year, so I'm just kind of banking on no one hitting that 10+ mark.
And I'm kind of taking a little long shot here again. 50-1 odds or plus 5,000. I'm actually going to go with DJ Chark. We mentioned multiple times on the channel. We do think that the passing numbers for the Jaguars overall, they're going to throw the ball a ton. We saw the clear chemistry that Gardner Minshew had with DJ Chark. Again, they're losing Leonard Fournette, who had 100+ targets last year. I do think this is going to be supplemented amongst the receivers. Laviska Shenault could be a factor as well. But talking about Chark, I mean, 8 touchdowns in 15 games in his second year. I do think he takes a step up as a player. Could near that 140, 150 target range in that offense. For an offense, I think is going to throw the ball, again, a lot. So this is kind of a long shot pick, but I do think that if he does play a full 16, he can near that 10, 11 touchdown area because he proved last year how good he is.
Fantastic.
Awesome. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was kind of just like there was a lot of bets that we went through this. And as I mentioned at the beginning, we're going to do this on a points-based kind of thing. So we all put money into a pot. Whoever has the most points at the end wins the money. So if you guys enjoyed, if you took any value from it, maybe you got some sleeper like bets that you can lay down. You can take all of Lucas's bets because he's the sharp here. Hit the like button. Button looks like this. Comment any of your favorite bets down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit the bell icon. We post videos pretty much every day. That's it, guys. Take it easy. Enjoy. It's football. It's football week.
Tomorrow.
Week 1. Enjoy your Sunday. Have fun. And don't cry too hard when some week 1 bullshit happens because it happens every year. So
tell yourself
guys.
for not using protection.
All right. Peace out.